Mr. Chairman, Ms. Oakley, Mr. O'Rourke, Mr. Labs, we're going to be focused on the Polar Security Cutter. In my questioning here, because Bollinger Shipyard is a constituent in the state of Louisiana, and they have taken on the responsibility of completing this vessel. Shall we say, it was quite a mess that they have inherited, and they're shouldering that burden. So we're going to dig into the cost of this thing and how it was so outrageously underestimated and what the design concerns have been throughout the inception of this incredibly expensive program that we are in the process of dealing with congressionally. What will the cost be? And we need realistic estimates. So we have the Government Accountability Office here, the Congressional Research Service here, and the Congressional Budget Office here before us. I'm very glad you're here. I appreciate you being here. So we should be able to get answers here, and specifically with regards to what are we doing everything we can to help the Bollinger Shipyards complete this program. It's an important program for the security of the United States, the Polar Security Cutter. On the last page of the CBO report, Mr. Labs, is stated that that generally speaking, for decades, naval costs for labor and materials runs higher than the commercial industry shipbuilding. Is that correct?
The cost of labor and materials in naval shipbuilding runs higher than inflation in the economy as a whole, not commercial shipbuilding, but the economy as a whole.
So without getting into the weeds of the culture of the Pentagon regarding spending over there, can we just accept that for some reason the world's biggest shipbuilder has greater impact from inflation, including in shipbuilding, than the rest of the nation's shipbuilding industry?
I'm not sure I quite understand your question, Congressman.
Okay. It's an assessment of your report, saying
Yes.
that it's more expensive for the Navy to build a ship because of labor and materials.
Correct, yes.
Okay, than the commercial industry. But they are the world's largest shipbuilder. So one would, regular American would think that the world's largest shipbuilder might have more efficient programs and systems. Again, not to get into the weeds of Pentagon shipbuilding. Ms. Oakley, on page 21 of the GAO report, stepping into what was Halter Marine's project, it was their contract to build the PSC, the Polar Security Cutter, said that Halter likely overestimated the extent to which it could leverage the original design and underestimated the magnitude of design changes. You go on to speak of the complexity of the design work, late design revisions, and when Bollinger took over the program, they had to obviously embed their own design experts into the existing teams to try and work through these things. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we had design changes since inception and challenges that threatened this very important program.
Yes.
And somehow we just allowed that to move forward, and then Bollinger purchased Halter Marine. Now Bollinger has that to fix, and we're going to help them. So, Mr. O'Rourke, in the CRS report, you state 5 primary reasons for massive increases in the PSC program estimated expense from the original estimates. Number 1, the actual PSC design is larger than the government's original design, what they anticipated, by 35%. Obviously, they have the 35% larger vessel, larger displacement is going to cost a lot more. Number 2, the Navy has frequently underestimated lead ship cost. The CBO averages 25 to 40% in a broad study across 19 programs, an average of 25 to 40% underestimated cost at inception for Navy shipbuilding. And our shipbuilders have to deal with this down the line. They're being told by the Navy, or you're overcost. you're over cost, when in reality, historically, the model seems to be that the United States Navy underestimates cost. Number three, recent inflation in shipbuilding. You say the residual effects of inflationary pressures over the past few years and workforce challenges plus increased labor and supply costs across the defense enterprise all drove costs associated with our shipbuilding up roughly an additional 20%. Number four, potential need for increases in workers' wages and benefits. Shipyards and associated supplier firms face challenges in recruiting and retaining new workers. And finally, schedule delays, which moves to design. You state that a principal cause of delay has been the time needed to achieve design maturity, meaning to complete the detailed design of the ship. So we have issues in the way we're rolling out shipbuilding in America, and the Polish security cutter is no exception to those issues. But we are responsible to address the larger issues, because we cannot continue to pretend that the original estimates for a shipbuilding project is going to fall within the parameters that are presented to Congress for funding. So we have questions we're going to submit in writing to Ms. Oakley, Mr. O'Rourke, and Mr. Labs, and we hope for a timely response on those written questions that we will submit to you. I thank you for being here. My time has expired.